This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Google Pixel tablet for 2023. Yep, they're back in the tablet game. This is an Android tablet, 11 inches, the usual Google Tensor G2 processor inside, and a QHD Plus 16:10 aspect ratio display. Aluminum casing available in 3 colors. It has a coating or a finish on it. This one's called porcelain. There's one that's hazel, and there's also a rose color. But the most interesting thing here is not what's in my hands, but what isn't. It comes with a base, a dock, that turns it into a smart hub. We're going to look at it now. Android tablets have been at a disadvantage for years, and no matter how much you love Android, you got to admit that there are not as many tablet optimized apps. We've seen all sorts of tacks for getting you hooked on them, and the most common one has been productivity. Keyboard cases, use it for business, it's a PC stand and all that sort of thing. And I know there are folks who do that, and more power to you, but I don't think that that's been a sticky enough feature. So Google's trying something completely different, and I kind of have to say that for my use case, even as an obvious power user, I like this way of doing things better, keeping it more affordable, not so crazy premium with very expensive keyboard case accessories and stuff, but instead making it a very good home product. So you've got the tablet itself, and it comes with that base or speaker base. You know, it looks like a Google Nest Hub Max, basically, with a slightly larger display and slightly smaller, though still very ample bezels. So the idea here is a lot of folks buy a tablet, and it's for occasional media consumption. You pick it up to play a video, to look at a little social media, although goodness help you on an Android tablet doing that, but social media is like never optimized for big screens. But you get what I'm saying. Look, read the news, read a book, something like that. And then you put it down, and then you forget about it, and then the charge dies on it because you haven't picked it up for 3 days, 5 days, a week, and then, well, this one, you just plop it back on the dock when you're done. No more, where's the tablet? You know, who in the family left it where, if you just put it right back on the dock. And it turns it into, like I said, a Nest Hub Max. So those of you who are using smart home devices in the Google ecosystem, we do. So I find that very useful. So you can control all of your lights, your door locks, all of that sort of stuff, video cameras and stuff you have on your front doorbell or whatever, right from the device. So it functions in that way when you're not using it as a tablet, and ensures you keep it charged up. And because one thing Android is really good at is multiple user accounts, it's also very family or even roommate friendly. So when you pick it up, it's locked and it has a fingerprint scanner to unlock it. You choose which account you want to go into. So handy that. So you can have one for the kids, obviously, and then they can SpongeBob away, and then you can have an account for yourself or your spouse. You know, you get the idea there. So that starts to sound pretty useful, and $500 for the tablet and the base isn't bad. That puts it these days in what would be considered mid-rangey tablet category, and the specs on it are pretty decent for mid-rangey. It's better than your average mid-range tablet. So that's a use case that might be more sticky for folks. So given that focus, there is no keyboard case this time around. It does have Bluetooth, obviously, Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6, so you can use any Bluetooth keyboard that you want with it. It's not purpose-built to be used with the stylus, unlike Samsung Galaxy Tab S series high-end tablets or iPads with Apple Pencil support, but you can use USI 2.0 stylus, which stands for Universal Stylus Initiative. Basically, it's sort of a capacitive one, so don't expect that to compete in terms of usability and quality of life with an Apple Pencil or a Samsung S Pen, but for those of you who want a pointing device, it does do the basics there. Google's first-party case is kind of insanely expensive. It's $79. I mean, you're looking at almost a fifth of the price of the tablet there just for a case for it. I don't think so, but there are third-party cases that are less expensive. If you want more docks, you can actually get them, or speaker bases. So those are $129 a piece. So you have a big house or something like that. You want one in the kitchen for when you're cooking and keep yourself entertained while you're waiting for the spaghetti water to boil, and then you want to have one in the bedroom or whatever, right? Has 8-megapixel cameras, front and rear, f2.0 aperture on those, and they're clearly designed for Google Meet or video conferencing, Zoom, that sort of stuff, and they're not pixel camera phone level for taking photos. So you do have the usual unblur features and magic eraser and all that sort of thing, but they do fine for things like, well, video conferencing. And unlike a Google Nest Hub Max, where you can use it to actually monitor the room that it's in, this does not have that feature, and that's probably a good thing, because when you set up a Google hub device somewhere. It's a room you know that you've set it up there and you want it to monitor, but with something that you can pick up and take away. A tablet, you don't want it, you forget, you take it into the bathroom. You definitely don't want it monitoring you in there, do you, right? So how does it work with that base? Okay, so it seamlessly hands off between the quad stereo speakers that are quite good and pretty loud on the tablet and the bass speaker when you plug it, unplug it. It's pogo pin magnetic connector. It's very easy to use. It holds it firmly. Give it a little twist to release it, so you kind of intentionally are doing it. It won't happen by accident, but that handoff is great. While the tablet is docked on the base, you can use Chromecast. You can cast to it, so if you want to send a Netflix video over to it, you can do that. If you pick up the tablet while that video is still playing, it will continue on and transfer the audio over to the tablet's built-in speakers, but it won't be available for a fresh casting session until you dock it back onto the base. The base also is not a standalone device per se, which is kind of weird. You would think it would be. Like you could use Bluetooth or you could cast audio to it, right, to just treat it as a speaker in the room, but that it does not do. In terms of performance, you have Google's G2 processor, like I said, the Tensor, and 8 gigs of RAM, and your choice of either 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. Add $100 if you want to go up to 256 gigabytes. No micro SD card slots and no expanding that here. Performance is what you would expect from the Tensor G2, which is to say fine, it's adequate. It plays games, actually just fine. I didn't have any problems with frame rates or anything like that. It's not going to be the fastest. It's not the latest Snapdragon CPU that is the very fastest. But that's, again, not what it's trying to do. It's not trying to be the most top performant $1,000 plus tablet on the market. I don't think anybody's going to complain about the speeds. You get 5 years of security updates. I assume 3 years of major OS upgrades as well with that, but they do say 5 years of security updates for the device. It charges through the wireless magnetic charging pogo connector thingy on the base there. That's 15-watt wireless charging, or you can plug it into a USB-C charger if you want to. I don't think, given the nature of it being docked a whole lot of the time, that anybody's going to be worried about it. Battery life's about average for an 11-inch tablet and about the same as the competition, which is to say 5-6 hours of use if you're streaming video or playing some light games. If you're playing intensive games, it's going to be shorter. If you're just reading news or working on a document or something like that, then you get longer battery life. The display on this is quite nice. It's IPS, it's not OLED. I think Google wanted to be in the $500 price range and not higher, so no OLED or something like that. And also because it will spend a lot of its time being a Google Home device, displaying the time and the weather and that sort of thing. So OLED would have burn-in. QHD Plus, 16:10 aspect ratio. It's a very nice looking screen. I certainly enjoyed watching videos on it. It did not disappoint in any way. As a Nest Hub Max replacement, the $229 purpose-built device, it makes a good amount of sense because we have one of those, and I always looked at it and I thought, it's kind of pricey and it looks so capable, a nice screen, and it doesn't do anything except for control your home and give you information when you ask Google for information and stuff like that. So I see this as a useful alternative. The Google Home features are almost all there. Like I said, there are some that are not. There's no recipe mode that makes it a little bit easier to scroll through your recipes. I mean, you can pull up recipes on it, but it's not quite as purpose-built for that. And you don't have the camera monitoring, which, again, a good thing. But it's perfectly functional stand-in for the now sort of aging Nest Hub Max. So that's the Google Pixel tablet for 2023. A big change in the way they're doing things, isn't it? And it's your usual 1-pound-ish, 11-inch tablet on the market, but it's the only one that also is a home smart hub and makes it easy to remember to charge it. So those parts are nice. The screen on this is quite nice. The speakers are pretty good, so neat. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and thumbs up if you like this vid.